You filthy animals.
How's my buddies over at the R2 Sonic Campfire doing today?
Never well. Keep them warm.
Oh, man.
You guys should come. You're my good luck charms, man. I always catch fish with you guys.
Is there room on the bus?
Because I look at you guys, and the 8 or 9 of you guys impressed me a lot. You know, because I first ran. Okay. You know.
No, go on.
You guys.
I don't do advertising. You're not going to see me on billboards or in newspapers, classifieds, none of that. Well, yeah, there's that because, you know, you guys are awesome. But
Yeah, well, that's comforting to know in case I say something stupid.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're hearing it real
That's kind of our thing, so don't step on our turf.
Yeah, come on, man.
Oh, man, I hope I don't.
What we're saying is actually new, so that's why we're fumbling a little bit, but it's going to sound amazing.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. We are reality outdoor radio connecting you with the people, skills, and products that you can trust.
You can trust them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Kyle, and who do I have with me at the table tonight?
I'm Steve.
I'm Will.
It's Bucky.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Gentlemen,
Hi, Kyle.
how y'all been?
Good.
I'm in rare form.
Tell us what we're sitting around
heard
quick.
that.
Will's waiting to just light it up.
Welcome to another episode of the Sonic Campfire.
Whoa.
That was hot.
Holy buckets.
I don't even think I have eyebrows now. That's why you shouldn't be.
I think our guest just had to pull his chair back.
Uh-oh.
It's
What?
getting hot in her.
Did I say guest?
You did, buddy.
What did you do?
What do you got in
Yeah,
store for
what do you
us?
got for us,
Let's
Kyle?
keep the listeners on hold for a minute here.
Oh, you're so close.
Before we get to this
Oh,
week's
that's right.
guest.
We need to hear from
We got a slow roll.
Before I
Ryan.
pull the veil back,
Oh, Ryan.
Oh, yeah?
tell us about this month's sponsor.
This month's episodes are brought to you in part by Protection First Class Outdoors. PFC lubes were designed and developed to protect and lubricate your firearms, your bows, your tree stands, heck, all your outdoor equipment.
What about fishing rods?
Absolutely fishing rods, Stevie. You know it.
No way.
You know it. Guys, I'm telling you, this stuff was originally designed to use in automotive undercoatings. Now, it don't get more corrosive than that.
I heard that.
That's true.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah, buddy.
does it leave a film or residue?
Absolutely not, Brian. No film, no residue. This stuff isn't going to harm the bluing on your firearms, any other kind of finish you got on any of your other outdoor products. This stuff is the ticket. And what? Now, wait.
I bet it freezes.
It does not freeze, Bucky.
What?
Oh,
But there's one more thing I got to tell you about. This stuff will also act as a cover scent.
You got
How
me.
many, how many times you ever taken a well-protected and lubricated piece of equipment in the outdoors? It stinks, boys.
it
Yes,
stinks.
it does.
Not this stuff. They got the earth and the pine cover scent mixed right into the lubricant.
Wow.
They
Come
thought
on.
of
Can't beat it.
everything.
That's right, guys. Make sure you head on over to pfcoutdoors.com. Check out everything they got going on over there. Pick up some of that lube. It's the ticket.
I love me some lanolin.
We do love that stuff, don't we,
yeah.
Bucky?
It's all natural.
The way the snow has been going and the rain,
You better have some.
Nasty, yeah.
I've been wiping it down on a pretty regular basis.
I'll tell you what, I am impressed.
What's that?
That I was just watching the snowflakes in the rain just beat off my gun the other day in the rain.
No kidding.
Did you take a picture of it?
I did not.
That's the lanolin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, you were saying something about this week's guest.
You know, aside from PFC being, a PA-based company,
I've been loving PA-based stuff lately.
we're making PA sexy again.
It's the keystone of our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I see what you did
I
there.
did something crazy,
Nice.
Stevie.
What'd you done do?
I went out and got another PA-based guest.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tonight
Oh, yeah.
on the line, we have Mr. Dan Druschel, who is a outdoorsman extraordinaire
You ain't kidding.
who hunts, fishes, and even chases them on the hard water.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the show, Dan.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good,
great.
buddy. Good to hear from you.
How are you?
Good. I'm doing okay.
What'd you do today, Dan?
I went to work.
Wah, wah.
Man's
Much like
always
all
getting
of
us
us.
down, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, comrade.
Dan, before we get started, I want to touch on a really cool story that you posted on your Instagram page.
Stalk much?
What?
Stalk much?
You're stalking his Instagram.
Oh.
You're an Instagram stalker.
Stalk with an LK.
Stalk.
Stalk much.
He thought you were stalking fish.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
I'll go stalk the trout.
What?
Yeah, let's go stalk. Sure, whatever.
Happen?
Let's do it.
Pheasants?
Dan, before we get into it,
No time like the pheasant.
No time like the pheasant. Can you let our listeners know how they can follow you on Instagram so that they can see this picture of this buck?
Yeah, it's D Druschel 34.
How do you spell Druschel?
Druschel.
I would have never guessed that.
How do you
just
spell
like it sounds,
like
bud.
phonics?
I'd like DRU. No, I wouldn't have got that. Thank you for spelling it, Dan.
All right.
Well, you guys are in rare form tonight. Bless your heart.
We're throwing spelling up there with math. No more spelling on the podcast.
Smelling?
Spelling.
All right, Dan, you've been hunting deer for years, right? This isn't your first hunting season.
Yeah, I've been hunting deer, well, like actually hunting since I was 12, but I've been going since I was, I don't know, 5 or maybe even younger.
Wow.
Tagging along.
So
Yep.
What made this particular buck that you harvested this year so special?
Well, this one was special because ever since my grandpap quit hunting, he handed me down his 270, and I've been using it ever since. And I've been trying to get a nice buck with it ever since, and I haven't been able to get one. And I finally was able to get one this year.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
How long have you had that gun?
I believe this is the 13th year.
All right. So how many hours have you and that gun sat in a tree, mano y mano?
Or on the ground.
Or on the ground, but out in the woods?
Every deer season for 13 years.
How many hours? Like how many hours though? That like I'm just trying to think. Like,
some guys get out the first day.
I want to quantify. Like
in the
you've
first
spent
weekend.
a lot of time just hanging out with that gun, and 13 years. I know how much time I spent in the woods, and I only did a half season, and that was archery.
Yeah. This year.
Yep.
So he spent 13 seasons, rifle seasons in the woods.
So that's just a lot of, like, you're making is a long time.
Right.
15 years is a long time, right?
You know, I'm trying to slow roll it for the guy a little bit here, you know.
Mission accomplished.
You nailed that.
Because Dan's like, you know, this gun of Paps and did it, and he got her right there, and I want to put the brakes on and feel it a little bit here.
You are, though.
You're doing it.
Thank
you.
you.
I'd be willing to bet, Dan, after 13 years of trying to get it done with this gun, you probably know every little curve in the grain of the wood on that stock, don't you?
Yep, I do. And this year, actually, I decided that this was going to be the year regardless, because at the beginning of it was actually during bear season, I noticed that the screw for the sling was starting to get a little bit loose. So I was at the point where I says, I don't want anything to happen to it. So I decided that this was the year that I was going to retire it anyhow, and it worked out perfect.
No way.
Wow.
There you go.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hunt a lot with your grandfather, Dan? Was that kind of what, as you're sitting there with this, this brings back those memories?
Yeah, me and him hunted, mostly during gun season. He was just a rifle hunter. My dad was more into bow hunting, but my grandpa, every season we would hunt together. From the time that like I said, I was maybe 5 or maybe even a little younger than that. Ever since then, I was hunting with him on all the rifle seasons.
And that was the gun you would use with him?
That's the gun that he used.
He used. Okay.
He used it until until he gave it up and I took it over.
My grandfather was a mechanic, and I spent a lot of time with him and he passed away.
He
and
gave you his 11 millimeter wrench.
Yeah, I got a lot of his like garage stuff.
That's a good one.
And there's times where I'll be in the garage, messing around or something, and you just hear, you see something, you pick up that tool or whatever, in your case a gun, and you can still hear them talking.
Did you second guess yourself like you picked up the wrong one? Because he would let you know.
Yeah,
that's what I hear.
It's crazy that those memories just kind of are always with you. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So in that instance though, where you've already told yourself going into the season, this is the year because you're going to be hanging it up. You don't want anything to happen to the gun. You're going to retire it. But you put in a couple hours before you got to pull a trigger, right?
When, this year or before that?
This year.
No.
Oh, was it like first light?
I had everything planned out. I took the first. I had Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, another Tuesday, and I had like 5 days off that I had planned to hunt.
Oh, you did it right.
You were ready.
And at 8 o'clock on opening morning, I shot him.
Oh, jeez.
No kidding.
Yep.
There you go.
Wow.
Did anything feel different that morning? I try to, you hear people say how they had a strange feeling or something like that, and I try to replay those things back in my head after the fact, and I don't know if I could ever, put my finger on it actually feeling any different. But I want to ask, in this case, did that morning feel did it feel special?
Well, it did and it didn't. I was hunting with my dad, and we were hunting actually in one of the shacks that my grandpap had built.
Oh my!
And we took it up to our camp and put it up there. And we had planned on sitting there all day.
So you elevated his old shack basically.
Yep. Yeah, we disassembled it where it was and then took it up to our camp, and I built a platform and we put it up on top of it.
Cool.
That's awesome.
This is ridiculous. Like I know like when you go out, you spend some time in the woods, you have a spot, you have an idea of where you want to sit. Some people literally sit in the same place every year. And it's just, whether it's tradition or what, you just know, whatever. I know guys that sit in the same spot and get a deer at 7:30 every year, and I hate their guts the first day. And so this is beyond special. Like I kind of get like the deer tower that you installed in the woods is something in and of itself pretty special. I got some chills. Like, I mean, guys, check out this picture. You can see.
You were just looking at it. Yep.
Yeah. And it's a lot of work and a lot of time, and you pick out the perfect spot to harvest a deer with all of this history, this Druschel history.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's Druschel side.
Yeah. Yep.
And you got, so it's one thing just stacking up on another, dude. This is amazing.
Yeah, everything it all lined up to be really special this year.
In the picture caption, Dan, I think you were wearing a couple things of your past. You had his hat or his jacket or something like that.
His jacket.
I
every year I'd wear his jacket too.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's cool.
Incredible. Is this have you gotten a buck before?
Oh yeah, I've killed quite a few bucks before.
Sure, like archery and stuff like that.
Yeah. I tell you what, I used to kill a buck every year until I met my wife.
No. That's not an uncommon story from some of the couples that we've talked to that are friends of the show.
Yep, absolutely.
I think we may have talked about that.
I think she told us about that.
And it not because, I mean, they're both very competitive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know that. Like, they're very competitive. They go after each other pretty hard. She's gunning for you. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you there's less.
Doesn't matter if you're her husband or not.
Yeah, there's less deer in the woods when she's around.
Oh yeah, actually this year she shot 2 bucks this year.
Really?
Yep, she shot one in New York and one in Pennsylvania.
Some girls have
doing
all
right. Because this theme just keeps continuing, where we find these husband and wives that hunt together, and time after time again, it seems like the wives are out hunting the husband.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she does.
There's nothing wrong with that.
When she got that, what did she call it? The lucky 7 buck or something here.
Yep, that was on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's actually the first time that we've ever both got bucks the same year.
No kidding.
That's cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
It was awful nice of her to let you do that.
Yeah.
Dan, what I really want to talk about.
I know you're chomping at the bit, Stevie.
I'm really, and we're gonna even delay that conversation a little bit.
Oh man!
Because why we originally contacted Dan was, December we wanted to talk about waterfowl hunting, but it's really hard to do when you're smack dab in the middle of
Deer
rifle season.
All things deer.
Yeah, all things deer. But we're able to get the deer in. So you guys satisfied now with the deer hunting start?
I want to see your eyes light up.
Why are you wanting to migrate to a different topic?
I want to migrate to a different topic. That was very nice. That was silky smooth transition there, but
that's why he gets paid the big bucks.
I heard that. Dan, I'd like to migrate into some snow goose hunting talk. We've never really talked in any great detail with anyone. I think we have somewhere near 1.2 million episodes out.
Roughly. Give or take.
And counting.
And if we don't, we should.
Yeah, it seems like it. But we've got a lot of episodes, and we've never really dove deep into
Check
snow
them
geese
episodes.
hunting. So I think we touched on it a little bit with Ariel. I'd like to go even deeper into that with you and just get an idea for what goes into a snow goose hunt, because it looks like there's a lot of work that has to happen.
How long you been snow goose hunting?
This season will be our second season that we're doing it ourselves. We've been going with people and like guided trips for a few years now, but this will be our second season doing it ourselves.
So a recent significant investment in Decoy, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
What's the deal with snow goose? Like, why
is the deal?
Why are they? I don't want to say what's so special about them, but like, why isn't everybody shooting piles of snow geese every winter?
They are a very difficult bird. They have a mind of their own. It's sometimes they'll come down, sometimes they won't. It's just something that I can't even explain.
So they're migrating from up north somewhere, I would assume, right?
Yeah, whenever we're hunting them, now, yes. Right now they're migrating south, but usually whenever I chase them, it's whenever they're migrating back north.
Okay.
They're on reverse migration.
Okay. Are the seasons different? Like, is there a migrating season and a reverse migrating season?
Yeah, there's a regular season, and it usually runs till the end of February. Mm-hmm. And then right as soon as that ends, it starts the conservation season, which is whenever they're heading back north.
What's different about the conservation season?
The regular season, you're not allowed to use electronic calls, and I think that's really it for Pennsylvania. But in the conservation season, you're allowed to use electronic calls.
So
I think what makes it a little bit different is when you have the fronts and the snow and the frozen, everything's kind of migrating south.
Yeah.
As things freeze.
As the water locks up.
As the water locks, so they say.
Mm-hmm.
ducks.
The ducks fly.
Fly.
You know that, I'm saying.
You know, or the geese. So the geese are flying.
flocks.
They're coming south and they're looking for food.
Sure.
They're looking at things that aren't, you know, they can get into some water, fresh water, and whatever. So on the way back, it's like they're all coming back
all at once.
Yeah, and it's
Gotcha.
I think it's a different number. It's a different level.
Well, what's the in Pennsylvania, Dan? What was the limit last year for snow geese?
It's 25 in Pennsylvania.
That's a lot of geese.
Like a season?
No, a day.
A day.
Holy buck.
Whoa! I didn't get me on some of that.
Yeah, that's what's Bucky. That's why I've been.
We better get
so
second
excited
jobs,
about this because it's
Stevie, for pay for
Could
ammunition.
you imagine how much
ammunition?
How many boxes of shells it would take for me to get 25?
Logistically, though, I mean, are we? Because I have no idea. Are we in a flyway where we're going to see a lot of snow? I know there's a lot of Canadian or Canada goose hunting in the area.
Yeah,
but I don't see a lot of snows. Right? Is that a thing here, or do we got to travel?
Oh, not yeah.
Where you guys are at, you're pretty close to them.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I just don't pay attention.
Yeah, you don't. No, there's not a ton where you are. Honest to goodness, like it's 10 miles east.
Okay.
You know, or 20 miles east, and you're going to see a different scene.
They're following the river up, pretty close to the river.
There's a refuge that a lot of them go to, not all of them, but a lot of them go to Middle Creek Refuge.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
It's just east of Hershey, PA.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 minutes from here probably, right?
Yeah. You'll see them from time to time in Hershey. You'll see them here in E-Town.
Okay.
But, you know, but you don't always see them, like, west of us.
Do you guys travel for them, Dan?
Yeah, my wife and I, we travel all the way. We're in western Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We travel all the way out to Hershey to hunt them.
Really?
Yeah, it's
like you ought to stop in.
Do you guys get hotels?
Last year we were staying in the trailer.
You know you have. I mean, I know your wife knows that she has 8 best friends.
Yeah,
just down the road.
that
some of us live like 5 minutes
just
from Hershey.
down the road. Like not
and
even
they have
joking.
Shotguns?
Huh? They have shotguns.
And they have shotguns?
And license and federal tags. Yeah, bud.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is I'm just saying.
Just saying.
25.
You know some guys.
Think about this for this next time that you come around and not tell us.
And I do want to apologize because Stevie, you still can't get over the 25 a day limit, and I kind of missed your point you were making is how many cases of shells is it going to take you to put down 25 birds?
It's going to be a lot.
Here's the thing.
Better start another shift at the glass factory.
One of the limiting factors is that we can only use 3 shots.
Yes,
at a time.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of ollies in him.
Yeah, if you have 8 guys,
I got
that's
8 guys
24
feeding
shots.
me a gun.
Feed me a new gun.
You hand me a gun, I'll just keep cycling through them.
Bless your heart.
Dan, is hunting snow geese much different than hunting Canadian geese?
Yeah, it's a lot different.
It is.
Yeah, usually we don't put out nearly as many decoys for Canada's. On this side of the state, we're usually running only, 5 dozen at the most. And then whenever we chase snows, right now my spread, it's 70 dozen.
70 dozen?
Yeah, dozen.
Dozen.
How does that happen? No wonder you're sleeping in a trailer.
Oh, man.
I mean,
you got to start 3 days ahead of time.
You're hauling a heck of a trailer just to get that many decoys out here.
Yeah, usually it's just Ariel and I, and it's about 4 hours worth of work.
If you added another 4 guys to that,
it's like 10 minutes.
That
10 minute
speed
work.
it up.
We go to Perkins for
I
breakfast.
think there's a
and still
theme
have
here,
time.
Dan. I'm not.
Yeah, if he's not picking up on it, I think what we're saying is
we could at least put your decoys out for you.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, well, I'll bring you some honey buns or something.
Bucky makes a mean breakfast sandwich.
I do some, buck griddle. Get going.
You want some buck griddles?
So I'm guessing if there's 70 dozen. Wow, that's even hard to say.
Yeah.
I've
never heard that
decoys.
number.
So there's
That'd be so cool.
different kinds of decoys, right? You've got silhouettes and you've got the little ones that look like bags and some that have the spinning wings.
Stevie would bring his Walmart bags.
His Walmart bags, it works, I've heard, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a significant spread, and you're putting all this stuff out at 0 dark 30, right? You're getting out way early.
Yep, usually 2, 3 in the morning.
Whew. Is the worst weather the best for hunting snow geese?
I've found you guys especially get more wind than we do, but the higher the wind, the better that I've found, but not too much. Like usually about under 20 mile an hour wind is just about perfect.
Just under 20.
Why do you think that is?
They don't like to fly in the strong wind. They like to get down to feed, and then it helps them key in on where they want to land. It's easier for to get them into the kill hole with the stronger wind.
So, are you in like a blind, or are you just laying on the ground covered? Like, how do you set up for these in a field, near a lake?
So we set up in fields, and basically the upwind side of the decoy spread is where you want to take all of your decoys and clump them up real close together.
Okay.
And that is,
okay.
Yes. And that is where the heavy feeding is. And that is where we lay in white suits.
Oh.
And then basically right at our feet, we open up a little bit of a hole, which we call the kill hole. And then from there downwind, we just kind of open it up a little bit more. There's a lot more space between the decoys. And snow geese, they call them greedy birds because they
we call Stevie greedy bird too.
Greedy bird.
Greedy bird.
Sorry, Stevie, I couldn't resist.
That's why you should see him at dinner. Like, I mean, he's just
get out of my way.
Greedy bird.
Greedy bird's here.
The snow geese are basically the same thing as whenever they come flying into a field, they see that big tight group, and that's where they want to land. They want to jump ahead and get to the food before the other birds get there.
That makes sense.
And that makes a perfect spot for us to lay in white underneath all the decoys. So we're basically using the decoys as a blind.
And I was actually thinking, I was almost going to ask the question, do you still lay in a white suit if there's no snow on the ground? But I guess the reality there is you look just like more geese if you're laying in a white suit. So
Bucky, with Bucky's beard, he looks like a speckled belly.
I don't even need to go out there and put that white coat on.
Now, Dan, from the little that I know about snow geese, you want pretty much as many decoys as you can find, right?
Pretty much.
They're greedy birds.
When you guys are putting out decoys, like how many decoys are you really putting out?
70 dozen?
70 dozen.
All of them.
The whole trailer.
And is there like a set, like
70 dozen?
No, have you found like that there's like a set, like almost minimum that you have to have, or is it just like, as many decoys as you can get out there, you just throw them out there?
I've hunted with guys that have had more, and I've hunted with less. We've killed snow geese with less. I've killed snow geese with a dozen.
Really?
Yeah, it's just if you're in the field that they want to be in.
Okay.
I have to say this. I've experienced some snow goose action, it's like Canadian goose hunting on steroids. And in our area, I have to quantify it by, in our area.
Yeah.
It's like the numbers are generally more, and when they come around and they start that vortex and they're honking like they do, It is the loudest.
Really?
Like you have no control over your adrenaline at that point. Like that,
it's on.
It is what's so loud, and it's just, and they're just circling in this kind of crazy vortex, and some of them start to cut. Like, Dan, can you corroborate any of this?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, have you guys ever gone to Middle Creek and seen them like drove through the refuge?
No.
I've seen video and stuff from Middle Creek.
We
but
never
that's
go
as far
there.
as it's gone.
Yeah, it's
Oh, you got to go. It's something to see.
You guys been holding out on me.
It's not that far.
We're right down the road.
We
Yeah,
should
that's what I'm talking about.
We should take a field trip.
These guys, I've been begging for snow geese and.
I mean, based off the video footage and stuff I saw, Stevie, you and I might actually be able to hit a couple.
That's what I'm talking about, bud.
You need to start throwing your lead or steel shot, I guess. You need to start throwing your steel shot.
Check those regs.
At bunches of birds like that.
This isn't water fed.
Ryan's never claimed to be a duck hunter or a goose hunter or a
not at all
waterfowl anything.
I remember the days with
sea duck
waterfed.
hunter.
But yeah, throwing it at one or two sea ducks coming in at a time is
that's
looks
one
like
thing.
this is gonna be a little more fun.
Do you call a lot, Dan?
Nope, I use an electronic call.
How's that work? It's just like
it's like Aerosmith says, just push play.
Basically, I have an MP3 player from a company called Snows Down Low.
Yeah.
And it hooks up to a speaker, and I play the tracks that are on the MP3.
What's different about, like, are there different calls for them or different?
Yeah, there's.
Like, what determines what track you play?
I usually try to switch it up. If, whenever they start flying over, I'll try like the one's called Feeding Frenzy. I'll try it for a little bit. And if they don't want to come down and look, I'll switch it up and change it to a different track that's on the MP3.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I knew it.
You knew it. You knew.
I knew it. I
these
knew
guys
it
are
would
holding
be
out
fun.
on you.
Yeah.
I think you would be DJ Snow Goose.
I would be. I'd be mixing it all up.
It'd be like a field dance party out there.
Dan, Dan, does it ever make sense to have like multiple speakers playing like different tracks, or is it you just more of like you're just trying different stuff? Like,
yeah, some guys do. They'll play different tracks on different speakers, but I just have one for right now.
Okay.
Well, how can you afford another speaker system if you have 70 dozen decoys in a trailer?
Well, and I guess that's
Santa.
That speaks to the
Uncle
need
Santa.
to use an MP3 player and to use a speaker system like that. Like, if you get, let's say four of us showed up to hunt with them, you got 6 little white bodies sitting in the middle of 70 dozen decoys. Even if we were all expert goose callers, you couldn't make enough noise for it to sound realistic. So it makes sense.
I wouldn't think so.
That's why you're running electric calls. So that actually makes a lot of sense now that I've thought about it.
Do they honk different than? Is the honk sound different than Canadian goose?
Yeah, it's not in Canadian.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if you picture the Canadian goose, you guys beat me to it. I was going to go, honk, honk, eh?
They just honk, not a whole whack of honks.
That's a whole whack of honks. Oh, yeah.
That's a Wisconsin goose.
Oh, no.
Speaking of Wisconsin.
Uh-huh.
We're going to
I love their cheese.
We're going to shift gears at it because we're nearing the end of our time here with Dan. And I know
where you're going now.
When we talked with Ariel, it's been a while. It's a while back that we talked with Ariel. But one of the stories she told us was about Dan.
Oh yeah,
and ice fishing.
Yes.
No, not wrestling a badger. I don't remember any badger wrestling.
Was he doing Wim Hof?
He was. Yeah, I don't think intentionally.
Not by choice.
So, ice bath therapy, Dan. Can you
Oh no!
tell us a little bit, because this that's crazy.
And how many times total?
Yeah. So for the people that don't know what we're talking about, Dan is a very avid ice fisherman, a great ice fisherman.
You know what? It's unfair, and I hate to say it. I'm going to get really aggressive.
Do it, bud. I will allow
it is so unfair.
Can you put that knife down before you keep being so aggressive?
Yeah, please.
I like that. You guys never tell you about this knife?
You did.
That Underhill Forge.
Underhill Forge knife. Anyway, to say that Dan is one thing, to say that the Druschel family is one thing, it's hilarious to me. Oh, he's an avid ice fisherman. Oh, he likes
quite the understatement.
It is like this dude. Anyway,
yeah,
it's funny whenever you can't pigeonhole or Canadian.
You can't pigeonhole Druschel. I've been saying that for years.
You can't snow goose
hole
him.
Not at all. All right.
They're not greedy birds, that's for sure.
Anyway,
so ice fishing, Dan. We're just start talking about it. Just start talking, because it's who knows where we're gonna go.
How'd you start, and when was the first time you fell?
Yeah.
Did you fall for ice fishing?
Well, I first got into it. Actually, my grandpa, my mom's dad, he's the one that got me into ice fishing. And same thing. I was very young whenever I started, and that's something that we would do together. And that was he would do the tip ups, and fish for bass, and that was kind of boring. So I kind of picked up,
especially when it's cold.
Yeah, but I kind of picked up going for panfish kind of on my own.
Yeah.
We used to not catch very much.
Bless his heart.
I've caught one bass ice fishing in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, one.
I've never caught a bass ice fishing.
They look different, and they look a lot different in the winter. I don't know. They almost look sick. You ever notice that, Dan? Like they're all pale.
Yeah.
It's the one that I caught was real pale and just.
Maybe that one was sick.
It could have been. I caught the one sick bass in the lake. So, tell us about falling through this.
How do you deal with that?
How do you deal with that?
Actually, I would like to explore the first time that you fell through the ice, because I'm guessing it's probably something that you learn from, and maybe you can gain some knowledge from an experience.
That's like the guy that's got struck by lightning 18 times.
18 times. He knows how to handle himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just another.
It just happens.
No, but that first time out, like, how did that actually happen?
I can't even remember the first time.
Oh my goodness!
There's been quite a few times that I've fallen through the ice
because he went unconscious.
Amnesia.
Hypoamnesia.
Yeah. What goes through your mind? Like, it's killing me.
Well, they say it's like a trap door falling out from underneath you, but I don't really think that. It's a lot more slow motion than that. Basically, the thing that I try to tell everybody is just stay calm. Stay calm and throw your arms out. Because usually you can catch yourself on the ice ledge before your head goes under the ice.
Oh, did that happen to you? Did your head go under?
No, I've never had my head go under.
That would be the part where I'd...
That's not the part.
Yeah.
The part is the thing that Bucky just had surgery above.
Well, I just... Yeah.
Suck them right on in.
The hardest part is getting past the marbles.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I think gravity's taking care of that.
Yeah, you're not
but there's a reflex not... like for you to suck in as well, to take that final breath when you hit that water too. And a lot of times you get a lot of water into your lung at that point too. That's why cold water immersion is not a good thing.
Did you experience that, Dan?
I can't say that I have. I believe it goes away once you acclimate to that water temperature.
But that's
when you get hypothermia.
Man, acclimate. Like, so
no, there's a point where you get it's not as cold. I mean, if you
how long are you staying in there? This is not like dipping your legs in the water before
you're in the middle of a
pool.
lake or whatever on the side of
long it takes you to get out.
I think to Dan's point is the idea of remaining calm, getting your arms out so your head doesn't go under.
Yeah.
So you don't
immediately start clawing at the ice and trying to get out right away.
I think
give
I would.
yourself a second.
I don't think I got it in me to just chill out there a while.
Chillax.
Yeah.
No pun intended. I think.
Yeah. I did you have some kind of special training on this before it happened the first time?
It sounds like Dan's a pretty chill guy anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
He's an ice diver.
No, trial and error.
God bless you. There you go, Stevie. You want to be good at falling through the ice?
I don't want to be good at falling through the ice.
Well, if you want to learn how to get yourself out of falling through the ice, you got to fall through the ice.
I'd feel safer if you knew what it was like.
No.
See, tie a rope on you first.
How thick was it when you fell through? Do you know that much?
Well, the last time that I fell through, there was probably 5 inches of ice, but we found a spot that there must have been an underground spring or something, and it was
creek or something.
Yeah, something underneath the ice that it made it a lot less thick.
That'll happen to you.
What's your I know everybody has their own kind of guidelines. What's your general rule for safe ice?
For me, I go out on 2, but that's not safe.
You might want to increase that number.
But yeah,
I think we found out why Dan falls through the ice.
Yes.
Do you have the suits and everything like that? That
I do. This is actually the first year that at the end of the last ice season, I finally got a striker suit.
Yeah, those are sweet.
If I've ever talked to anybody who needed one, it sounds like you needed one, bud. I'm glad you got one.
Yeah.
So when you're going out when it's 2 inches, this is early ice. Obviously, is fishing. How is fishing early ice compared to when it's when you got 2 inches versus 12 inches or 8 inches, 10 inches, something much later on in the year for you?
Nerve-wracking.
Other than being nerve-wracking.
3 Advans compared to none.
I don't think he needs Ativan.
Oh, not Dan. I mean, for me, that's the difference.
Bucky lives better living through pharmaceuticals.
Well, only like that I would need to. I don't like to take pharmaceuticals, but to get me out on 2 inches of ice, you would need to.
Oh, it's not that bad.
He's small pharma. He's not big pharma.
No. I've been on 2 inches, Bucky, and I'm a big boy.
God bless you. I'll wait till it gets 4 and I'll be out.
So let me ask the question again.
4 is advised.
So early ice fishing versus middle of the season ice fishing, Dan. How does that? If you guys could let him answer, that'd be even better.
A lot of the times, whenever it's early ice, I'll fish shallow, like for bass.
How shallow? Like 3 feet, 6 feet?
What do you mean, how shallow?
Yeah.
What's shallow?
Shallow.
That's
3 to 6
it's
feet.
like
so like near the
Lady
bank.
Gaga.
Yeah. And Bradley Cooper.
That is shallow.
Yeah, 3 to 6 feet usually is all the deeper that I'll go early ice.
Yeah.
And it seems like, at least around here, is like whenever I'll go out early, the bass and the pike, they'll all be up into the shallows. And that's a lot of the times early ice, they'll really be hitting.
You're jigging for those something, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I'll run tip ups and I'll jig as well.
What do you like to jig?
A lot of we've caught a lot of big bass on our Widowmaker lures, jigs.
Yeah,
those are something else.
Yeah, just a jig and a little like a wax worm or a little piece of plastic, and we'll catch bass on that.
When you throw a minnow on there, what do you expect to see then to show up? Because
bass, and then I've caught a pretty big crappie with that too.
Yeah, my man.
Oh boy,
here we go.
Crappie talk.
Bucky was Scottie Pippen and you were Michael Jordan. Because he laid it up for you and you slammed it.
Yeah.
Bam.
If that was the only fish Bucky could ever catch,
I'd be happy.
He'd be happy.
He'd be crappy.
He'd be crappy. I would be crappy. Happy with crappy. Speaking of happy.
Yeah, but
go on, Buck.
I hate to do this.
What's that?
Don't do it, Bucky.
then.
Well,
Don't be that guy.
I want to ask him a question, though.
Okay.
Well, go for it.
And until we can get to that point in the show, I can't ask him this question.
Oh, you got one of
is
those
it that
questions
time of the show?
teed up.
Yes, it is that time of the show, guys.
Well, thanks for slow rolling the Fast 5 bucks.
Yeah.
Holy buck.
That's not an oxymoron.
I had to think that one through, Kyle.
You did.
I just did. I just slow rolled the whole thought process there. Sorry, Dan.
You'll do that.
We reserved the last of the show with something we called the Fast 5. There are 5 questions.
Mm-hmm.
There are no wrong answers.
But we'll tell you if they're wrong.
You know we will. And give us the answer that comes off the top of your head.
First thing.
We're going to do these Fast 5, but I'm going to throw in a new twist this week and go in reverse order with the questions because
I didn't
Who
pre-approve
approved that?
this.
Unprecedented.
I'm just spitballing on the fly here because this is my favorite question to ask.
All right, go ahead. I'll allow it.
Thank you, guys.
Overruled.
Dan,
Sustained.
what makes you happy?
Having a flock of snow geese come down into my decoys.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
On a crisp February morning as the sun's coming up over there.
That would be fun. Whoa.
That was a haiku.
Yeah.
Man,
sorry.
WWE haiku.
Yeah. Want to add a little ambiance.
Oh, my. Next question, Dan, is what's one thing you can't live without in the outdoors?
I'll say the Weather Channel app.
That's a good one. That's a valid point,
That's
sir.
a new one.
That's a new one. I was going to say.
Wind direction, wind speed. If it's going to rain or snow, that makes a big difference.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess, but that's not just for your snow goose hunting, right? You're talking deer
That's
hunting and everything.
Trout fishing.
Ice fishing.
Yep.
Perfect.
Kyle, I think you're up.
All right. Well, to keep with the trend here, Dan, what's on your bucket list?
That was mine.
Oh, we're going to reverse.
We weren't
Every
really.
other reverse.
Bucky just stole a question. He said reverse, but he stole a question. Is what he did.
We're going to talk about this next week.
I'll hear about this on Sunday.
Well, go ahead, Dan.
My bucket list, I'd like to shoot a bear with a flintlock in Pennsylvania.
Holy buckets.
That's intriguing.
That is epic.
It sure
I
is.
got chills again.
Yeah.
You have a spot picked out?
We
Right
tried
behind
it
the
this
shoulder.
year, but we couldn't make
Technically, center of mass on a bear.
On a bear, yeah. But that doesn't make for as good a joke.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. I interrupted you.
You're right. Yeah, we tried it this year, but just couldn't seem to find one during that early muzzleloader season. I'm glad Pennsylvania did that this year.
Yeah, that is cool.
That was pretty sweet.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. All right, Dan, question number 4. What's one thing you do daily to prepare for your outdoor lifestyle?
I'm going to say drive. Anytime that I'm driving, I'm looking out the window for geese or deer or anything.
That's a good answer.
That's actually a great answer. My wife gives me a hard time constantly.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the side hills as much as I'm watching the road in front of me.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I start swerving, then you can talk. But otherwise, I got this.
Yeah.
I love long trips with like 4 hunters in the truck. Mm-hmm. And, you just...
It's a contest. See who can see them first.
I think it's funny, though. This is the fun. Everybody, there's that competition where there's dudes that really care about it and pay attention. Mm-hmm. And you can tell the guy who's not exactly a super hunter.
Okay.
Because he's not switched in, and you're like, did you not see that 10 deer that just was sitting on the top? What 10 deer?
I didn't see him.
No, I didn't see him. Anyway, that was my... But it's funny to have that.
You guys lost me.
Well, you can start to see who's a good hunter.
Stevie.
Oh, all right. So I blacked out.
That's why we make Stevie drive, so the rest of us can look out the window. That's a good answer, Dan.
Yeah.
Very cool. Also, I have a number 5.
Oh, yeah?
I'm so lucky to have this question.
It's a good one.
Rounding it out.
What's your favorite movie, Dan?
I don't watch too many movies, but I'm going to say my favorite movie is probably Super Troopers.
Oh,
nice.
All right, meow.
Yeah, meow.
You're not kidding.
You're not kidding.
Hey, Dan,
That's a good one.
do you drink coffee?
Right, meow.
Yeah.
You do. So
Yep.
if you could hang on the line here for a few minutes, we got to get some information off of you. We're going to send you over some stuff from our friends at Duck Blind Coffee Company.
They're so generous.
They are.
We want you to migrate over to a better cup. And for
That'd be great.
Yeah, and for folks at home, you can go to duckblind.online to get yours.
Get you some.
Go get it.
All right, Dan, thank you very much.
Well, Dan,
This is,
remind
guys.
everybody again where they can find you and keep an eye on what you and Ariel and everybody got going on.
My Instagram, it's D Druschel, DRUSCHEL 34. And then my wife, Ariel, it's she_hunts_pen_Ohio.
boom.
Awesome.
And New York now, apparently. We're hearing about all this New York.
Yeah,
hunting.
she's got to add New York now.
She's all over the place. Change that handle.
Yeah,
That's
she
gonna
should
be
just
like-
change it to Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah.
Mid-Atlantic woman.
She hunts tri-state area.
She hunts everywhere.
That's awesome, Dan. Thank you so much for your time tonight, bud. It's a great time talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, and Dan, you got to, hook up with us here soon. That'd
Please.
be great.
The Snow Goose thing's going to
Especially
happen.
when you're in our area.
Yeah, I'd like to help.
Awesome. Yeah, we'd gladly do that.
Very, very cool.
Guys,
Yes, sir.
where can they find us?
Well, I'll tell you where they can find us, but first, I need Stevie
I'm here,
to,
bud.
to tell me a little bit about this month's other sponsor.
I'd love to.
This month is also brought to you in part by Miser Creative LLC. Rutten River Pursuits podcast is a production of Miser Creative LLC, and if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or if you need help creating video content for social media, look us up. Give Will an email at will@ruttenriverpursuits.com for more information or pricing options.
I do love that Miser Creative. It's good stuff. So, Will,
They keep the lights on.
Yep.
I think I'm ready to answer your question now,
Yeah.
but I'm going to answer it by saying, Pucky,
Yeah.
where can folks find us?
Everybody can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the socials, if you will, at Rutten River Pursuits. On the YouTubes, they can find us at Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. And, of course, as always, on the internet at RuttenRiverPursuits.com. And don't forget, you can download this episode and all our episodes at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio.
I heart them radio.
Atta boy, Bucky.
Not bad.
Not
Love
bad.
it.
Not bad.
Maybe it's the pills talking, but that was good.
Well-
Either way, we'll take it.
Well played, boys.
Rig them weedless.
That was another great episode.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Later.
Peace.
See it.
Rig them weedless. You see something, you pick up that tool or whatever, in your case a gun, and you can still hear them talking.
Did you
know?
second guess yourself like you picked up the wrong one? Because he would let you know.
Yeah,
That's what I hear.
It's crazy. that-
And snow geese, they call them greedy birds because they
We
whenever
call
they-
Stevie Greedy Bird, too.
Greedy bird.
Greedy bird.
Sorry, Stevie, I couldn't resist.
That's why you should see him at dinner. Like, I mean, he's just
Get out of my way.
greedy bird.
Greedy bird's here.
I was almost going to ask the question, do you still lay in a white suit if there's no snow on the ground? But I guess the reality there is you look just like more geese if you're laying in a white suit. So
Bucky, with Bucky's beard, he looks like a speckled belly.
I don't even need to go out there and put that white coat on.